My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and the grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Today in the first reading we hear about the prophet Elijah, who was fleeing the wrath of Queen Jezebel after he had decimated the prophets of Baal. They had tried to invoke their false gods by dancing and by lashing themselves, but, their god Baal, he remained quite mute. Nothing happened when they invoked him. And so then, in that story, Elijah invoked the Holy Spirit and rained down this consuming fire on the sacrifice, and it's an image of the purifying fire of the Holy Spirit. And then he went on to kill those prophets, as was prescribed in the Mosaic Law, in order to really keep the faith of Israel pure of any false deities, because the people of Israel already in the past had succumbed to these temptations. It's a pretty dramatic scene if you've read it from the Book of Kings. So now he's on the run. That's in today's reading. He's running. Queen Jezebel wants to kill him, and he ends up in the desert, exhausted, and he's on his way to Mount Horeb. And it's just an image of really very similar to the people of God in the desert who fled the Egyptians. Now it's Elijah. He's fleeing also in the desert. And again, just like Moses went to Mount Horeb, which is where he originally saw the burning bush, and that's where God had revealed his true name. Now Elijah's on his way there. But, he passes out. He's just too tired. And he's just lying there sleeping. And so then an angel touches him and points out some baked bread and some water. And so on the strength of that little food, he's able to make it all the way to the mountain, the holy mountain of God, Mount Horeb. But I love this image of this angel coming out right in the nick of time to wake him. Otherwise he would have kept sleeping, just like when the alarm doesn't go off, you just keep sleeping. Right? But tradition of the church has seen here the guardian angel at our side. He touches us, he wakes us up for the important things in our life. He shakes us out of our stupor or our somnolence, perhaps out of our excessive focus on secondary things, maybe on too much ease, or just he shakes us out of the kind of human vision that can affect us sometimes, right, in our life. And so, of course, angels, we can't see them. An angel, he cannot be seen. He does not have a body, but he's there. He's really there. And if you did see him, I don't think he would be like this dainty blonde-haired little youngster that we see sometimes represented in paintings. I'm not sure, but I think it was Fulton Sheen who said that he had a vision of a man once who was standing in front of him, and this man was like super strong but like all bedraggled and dirty and bruised looking, but muscular and like almost wearing some kind of armored suit. And Fulton Sheen said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm your angel, I'm your guardian angel." And he said, "Well, you don't look like an angel." "Well, that's because I've spent all my life protecting you. All these bruises and wounds I get from the harm that I am always getting when I'm saving you. Now get going." Right? And that's, I don't know, this is obviously maybe not exactly happened like that, but this the idea that the image of the angel is not necessarily just a dainty little, figure that can't do much. And so, Jesus, you have given me a guardian angel to protect me physically, but also spiritually, so that I always be fed by your truth, and that I might always embrace your providence in my life. Embracing your providence really means thinking in a supernatural way, and I guess seeing the bigger picture in my life and understanding your word as it is proclaimed today by the church, in particular by the readings of today. And in the gospel, Jesus had said that he was the bread of life come down from heaven. Like that manna that fed the tribes of Israel in the desert, and even for that matter Elijah, it had fed them and sustained them, and it fed Elijah too. But just as the people of Israel had complained Well, Elijah didn't complain, but the people of Israel complained. Here too, people in front of Jesus are complaining, and they are conflicted about his bold statement of him being the bread of life. They were saying things like, what do you mean you're the bread of life? Well, I mean, you're just the son of Joseph. We've seen you ever since you were small. You're just the son of the carpenter. We don't get it. But Jesus reacts quite strongly. He says, look, stop complaining. That's a phrase. He says, stop complaining. Because it's true. Often we complain. And when we complain, it's a sign that we haven't really taken time to refocus and to acknowledge what is really happening here. And so he tries to convince them of something pretty powerful, but that they don't all seem to understand right now. He says, anyone who eats this bread will live forever. And the bread that I shall give is my flesh for the life of the world. The bread of life. So, as we hear these words, and no doubt you've heard them before, we know that the bread of life also, it has to affect us truly. How does it affect me, the bread of life? A few weeks ago, I was explaining to a little boy of 6 years old, because he was preparing for his first communion, and his parents and his siblings had come, to the chapel, I was doing their first communion, their first confession, and hearing their confessions and stuff, and so the little boy was there, and I knew I had to tell him that Jesus hides there in the tabernacle, and that he's there in that little box. That's where Jesus hides, okay? And I knew this was possible, that he could understand this. I mean, children have this innocent sense, the almost magical way of thinking, that they can kind of like enter into other worlds, and you understand this. For Jesus to enter there and to live there and to wait for me there, that's no problem. He can do that, but sometimes I fear, in my own understanding of it, that I feel that they will misunderstand when I have to tell them, now you have to eat Jesus, okay? Now you have to eat Jesus. But they don't misunderstand, right? Because, I think, if I tell them, they have to eat Jesus, they think Jesus is going to go into their stomach and it's all gross. And no, but they actually see it, and this was the case of this boy, as an opportunity for Jesus to be very close to their heart. Because when they receive Jesus, he's close to their heart. And he really wants to be close by. Because he has come down from heaven to change our heart. And like anyone who loves, he finds ways to come close and to stay close, to stay intimate. A child probably doesn't exactly know the meaning of the word exactly intimate, but he knows what a heart is somehow. And he knows the idea of being close to the heart. Okay? And then, if he is close by, then our heart will pump the blood through the arteries, and we will be in really good spiritual shape. But if he is distant from our heart, if we are not affected by the Eucharist, by assisting at Mass, by looking at the tabernacle, by a good genuflection done with love, if we don't do these things, then our heart could develop a kind of sclerosis, a kind of hardening of the arteries, if you like, which makes us susceptible to heart attack or stroke, or we could just get dizzy and pass out, like Elijah. But that's what, we're susceptible. If we don't have a Eucharistic piety, we're susceptible maybe to losing faith and confidence in God in some way. We need our heart to be pumping well, precisely when we need it most. And maybe, how about that? Maybe just asking our guardian angel, every time we enter into the parish church or into a chapel, or every time we see a bell tower from a distance, or for that matter a crucifix, the invisible guardian angel is watching there and maybe telling us, just like he told Elijah, get up, stop looking at your phone, make an act of love, see Jesus there in the tabernacle. He is somehow mysteriously waiting. And that little boy of 6 years old, later on, after I had been with the family, the mother told me that when he was sitting there with his mother in the oratory, he came close to her and he said, "Mommy, why is the altar so beautiful?" because there were flowers, there was lace, and it was prepared for Corpus Christi. Nobody said, why is it so beautiful? Right? And she told him, well, tomorrow's Feast of Corpus Christi, and the altar's been prepared for that. But I was very touched by the fact that he was able to appreciate that beauty. And of course, today's readings has all these references, of course, to the Eucharist and the presence of Jesus in the Eucharist in the life of the Church. So let us see what all these references are telling us about the way we assist at Mass and how we can really, let's say that, increase our faith. Eh? And when we live it well, He can really take possession of our heart, not just of our mind, but be close to us in our heart. When I give thanks, as I get older, maybe there are more distractions. There's the phone, there's routine. I get used to this. I can gloss over the readings. I miss the point of the liturgy. That's why Pope Francis has said that this is not just a prize, but it's really a remedy for us, a remedy for our weakness, for any lukewarmness that could worm itself into our life. A remedy in so many different ways. So let us take that remedy today and ask our guardian angel to help us so that we come out of today's Mass with a clean bill of health, a good, strong heart in love with the Eucharist. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations you've communicated to me. In this meditation, I ask your help to put them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.